So today is day 30 for me within my 6-month Abramelin operation, which is quite significant since it's essentially the first month is over, and in another month's time the second phase of the operation will begin. And I am making this update to kind of build upon what I have talked about previously and round up this month in a sense. In the last video I made, I mentioned the idea of building the angel from scratch essentially, which was the kind of imagery I was getting within my sort of meditative prayers. But something has slightly changed from that over the past sort of 7 days or so. I'm getting a lot of imagery of ravens or crows. I don't know which one it is just yet. It's either a raven or a crow, and that interests me. It didn't occur to me that the holy guardian angel could be an animal, and I'm not suggesting that this raven, I'll just call it, is the HGA. But given other spiritual practices of which they get divine insight from sacred animals or things like that, it makes sense that it could be a possibility. Also, it reminds me of the Slavic pagan goddess Marzana for some reason. And I don't know how much the imagery of ravens are attached to her, but it interests me because of my background being Slavonic. But yeah, other than the raven imagery, the most noticeable thing that has happened to me since the last video I made and over this entire month has been something that was quite incredible. And most people will put this aside as just being something out of sleep paralysis or a dream, but this was absolutely not sleep paralysis. This was absolutely not a dream. My oratory, where I'm performing the prayers and invocations for the Holy Guardian Angel, is attached to my bedroom in an alcove facing a window, as stated in the Abramelin itself with regards to doing it in an apartment. And outside the window is a terrace. And the idea later in the operation is summoning demons through the window, and the terrace being a form of protection since they are outside of the oratory itself with a barrier, which is interesting given that there is no magic circles or Solomonic circles involved in this operation, and there are no other operations I can think of within the Western esoteric tradition that does not use these Solomonic circles when conjuring evil spirits or demons. So I was fast asleep facing the oratory when I was woken up by a laser beam of white light that came down on over the oratory within a split second, and then it disappeared. And everything in me was telling me to keep looking at the oratory, stay there, However, I was taken straight back to sleep, essentially. I could not push myself to wake up. And I know that you can easily put this down, as I mentioned earlier, to a dream or sleep paralysis, but I was literally woken up by this flash in the oratory, completely covering the area and the altar. And that is significant to me. I believe that could be a vision of the angel. I'm not sure. But that is probably the most significant event that has happened during this first month of the operation. And I know that's quite soon in the operation to get a vision of the angel. I don't know if it is that for sure. I must always be skeptical to some degree. And also I've got to watch out for my own ego taking over, which has been a problem with many occultists doing similar operations, especially those involving trying to invoke the Holy Guardian Angel. A lot of people, with regards to Aleister Crowley, criticized his angel as being a form of wishful thinking and his ego getting in the way, but I don't believe that to be true. So yeah, something physically manifested for a split second and woke me up. And believe with that as you will. With regards to the operation itself, it's become a normal part of my life. And in fact, this month has been incredibly rewarding for me. I have had more creative energy than I have had in years since starting this operation. It was very difficult at the beginning of this to get into the routine, but now it's normal. With regards to reading of holy books, I've been going through Kabbalistic texts, not Hermetic Kabbalah, but ones translated from Hebrew and Aramaic by rabbis, specifically huge commentaries on things like Sefer Yetzirah and the Bahia. And now I'm going through the massive 12-book compendium of the Zohar with commentary, which is fascinating. And also it's bringing me back to the Torah, because I am comparing Zoharic scripts, Zoharic material to the Torah, of which it is a commentary of and taking from. So the Torah has been a bit of a struggle reading, especially Leviticus and to some degree Exodus, given that it just repeats over and over and over again. Do this, kill the lamb in this way for the sin offering, blah, blah, blah. I'm not criticizing the Torah at all, but as it is very difficult reading it when it becomes so repetitive, especially because it contains 613 commandments, essentially. And most of them are about how to build the temple, the tabernacle, and the animal sacrifices to be made, which later become kind of void, for prayer replaces sacrifice. Anyway, there's the Kabbalistic texts, which, especially in Hasidic Jewish circles, are very sacred. So I've been reading a lot of those, and reading for 2 hours a day has become normal for me. And I usually read a little bit longer because I read through these holy texts, and then sometimes I want to go to another thing. And that kind of energy and this building up of knowledge and this discipline that must be adhered to, and waking up at 5 in the morning and waiting for these astronomical movements till the moment the sun starts to rise and things like that, it's completely changed the way I've lived my life. I mean, I've never undergone an operation such as this. And with regards to creativity, I have been just inspired almost constantly. Not in a manic kind of way, but just things are just flowing out of me. For instance, at the moment I am writing a novella, and within a very short period of time I wrote a significant portion of the text, and it's just flowing out of me. And it's the same with other aspects of my life. So yeah, this is a good summary of the first month. Hopefully the next will be as productive and interesting, especially on a personal level. And little bits of skepticism on whether the Holy Guardian Angel actually exists or what it is. And, you know, a fear of failing the operation and nothing happening, which is an absolute possibility. And that would make the skeptics very happy, probably. But that kind of mentality, it has been replaced. I mean, even if this operation fails, I am getting so much out of it that it has just been a reward in the journey itself. And yeah, I am going to be making some more videos soon. I have a better camera, which I'm not using at the moment, but to set things up, and I'm going to focus on quite a few academic subjects relating to the Western esoteric tradition. And I will still make videos about popular culture. However, I don't want to just continuously repeat myself. Like with regards to Christian, I've said everything that sort of needed to be said. And you can place that archetype of Christian on any other person displaying that kind of behavior. And I don't want to be the guy who goes, they're demonically possessed, they're demonically possessed. So I've sort of had to move away from that kind of thing. However, with regards to internet culture and the idea of demons being able to have an effect on via the electromagnetic spectrum on the digital and on the world and the internet, is something I firmly believe is a possibility, because these archetypes are popping up constantly. And I mentioned this in that last video I made about Christian, I think a week or so ago. So I will still go into these theories on postmodern and internet culture. However, I deeply want to go into many different subject matters on the Western esoteric tradition, and also on some pop culture references that have been heavily inspired by Kabbalism and things like that. For instance, Neon Genesis Evangelion is absolutely filled with Kabbalistic symbolism. I'm not entirely... It's been years since I've watched it, so I may watch it again and make some videos on it. Because, however, if I rewatch it, I don't know how much the creator actually knew about Kabbalism. Because I heard somewhere that he just thought it looked cool, which is understandable. And he just threw it in there. I don't know, I don't remember, and last time I watched it, I wasn't exactly the most knowledgeable person on the Kabbalah. So I might make some videos with some video editing software, with using bits of footage and things like that. But if it's all just random, then I'll move on to a different project. But yeah, I want to do a series of lectures on different subject matters. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, and I'll keep updating with regards to the operation. Have a good day.